with this mic, you guys. I see some of y'all are on here already. Y'all got it. If you're on here early, you know what it means. Like when you're on something early, that means you are the help, right? You the help. So can y'all hear me? If you're on here right now, can you hear me crisp and clear? Make sure there's no echo. Let me know if you can hear me. Was that a thumbs up? I saw some. Is that a thumbs up? Yeah, y'all can hear me. It's not an echo. I try to get on here like a few minutes early to make sure that audio and everything. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for telling me. Affiliate Marketing Express from New York. Thank you. Let's see, I'm trying to make sure that everything is working before everybody gets on here. Hello, you guys. Happy Sunday. It is 8 o'clock where I am. What, 9 o'clock where you are in New York, right? It's 9 o'clock. Hello. She's Carrie. You know, I want to know where everybody's from. It's like the only question that I ask you that I want to know. Where are you from? Just tell me if you're on the... Okay, thank you, Pressure Fighter. Good. Because sometimes it'll be like an echo. So I just want to work out all the things. Long Beach, got you at 6 o'clock where you are. Got you. Okay. Indiana. Hey, D Young. You're always on here. You're like the Affiliate Marketing Express. Y'all are always on here representing. Where are you from? Tell me where you're from, and I won't forget ever again. No echo. Perfect, Anna. Thank you. I appreciate that. California, Tennessee. That's right. How you gonna be from where I'm from, and then I forget where you're from? Okay. So, hi, Clark. You're back. You guys, I'm so happy y'all come back. Like, I guess y'all listen to, y'all like what I talk about. I guess sometimes, I don't know. But let me jump in. It's 8:01. I'm going to try to start on time. We're going to try not to go all night long. I know how we do. We get on here and I just talk, right? I just got off of a mentorship meeting. Houston, Texas. She's a nurse, she just wants freedom. She's literally like my third nurse in my mentorship program. Everybody's like, we just want freedom. I think they love being in healthcare, but they just want to do it on their time. I guess they working these nurses to death, right? But Houston, Texas. So yay, I'm excited for her. Jacksonville, Florida. Oh yay, that's right. That's right. You and your REO property. I'm happy for you. You got to keep us updated on how that's going. You got to keep us updated. And Florida is going to be like a hot market, you guys. Florida, hot as in terms of opportunities, right? You guys, somebody commented and asked if I was expecting. I am not, you guys. But sometimes, I can't suck in all day, every day, right? So when I breathe, you guys, it is what it is. And I commented back and was like, expecting to be a real estate mogul. So anyway, no, you guys, you know how people on YouTube are. They just try to troll and they don't expect people to say anything back, but I always comment back. So it's like, whatever, you guys. Atlanta, cool. Atlanta, y'all always represent. Y'all got a lot going. I hear that your auctions are off the chain in Atlanta. What is this? Today is the last full week of October. So next week is when Atlanta has their huge auctions. Y'all usually auction the first of the month, like that first week of the month. Huge, like tons of properties go up for auction. New York, I already said I knew where you were from. You're always in here. I knew you're from New York. Okay, so everybody, welcome. Let me do an introduction real quick in case you are new here. You guys, I am Ashley Pickens. I am here in Memphis, Tennessee. I have been in real estate. Look, this is my YouTube intro, right? Yeah, November 7th. Yeah, y'all have huge in Atlanta. See, that's why I can't look at the comments because it just... But anyway, I've been in real estate since 2006. 2006. I got licensed August of 2006 as a real estate agent. And then I became a broker after that, and I had 30 agents. And then what most people know me for is I'm an auctioneer. I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. I am literally at the courthouse. When people say, I hear they auction off properties at the courthouse, it's me. It's legit. It's the truth. So tonight, I think we should, of course, I'll answer your questions. But tonight, I really wanted to talk about the due diligence part of buying at the auction. Has anybody on here, well, we know a couple of you have been to an auction. Like, have you bid on a property at the auction? Has anybody done that yet? Just wondering. Let me know. Because tonight I kind of want to talk about, y'all, I got so many, that video I put up 2 days ago about the property that went up for sale in Arizona. I think y'all saw it. The property was bought, and I feel like I told this story before, was bought in 2020 for $200,000. Okay, you haven't been to auction. Don't worry. You can go. Don't worry. Was bought in 2020 for $200,000, right? It is now worth $300,000, right? It went up for auction on Tuesday. I forget how this mic on. I don't want to keep touching it. But it went up for auction on Tuesday, and the opening bid was $12,000. Okay? The opening bid was $12,000. Like I said in the video, which I couldn't really finish the video because Instagram only gives me like a minute and 30 seconds. And y'all know I need more than a minute and 30 seconds to talk. So anyway, the opening bid was $12,000. Okay? House worth $300,000. To most people, that sounds like an amazing deal, right? At the auction, you can buy a $300,000 property for $12,000. To me, working at the auction, that immediately threw up a red flag for me. That immediately was like, They just bought it in 2020. Keep in mind, the opening bid at most auctions is the loan amount, right? That's what that opening bid is, because they're trying to pay off whatever lien. They're trying to pay off that primary lien, usually. So they just bought in 2020 for $200,000. That opening bid should not be $12,000, right? So that opening bid should be about $200,000. They just bought 3 years ago. They still owe that whole loan. Everybody's still with me on this part, right? So it sounds like they were auctioning off a second lien or a HELOC, okay? Home equity line of credit, right? That's probably what went up for auction. And I'm going to explain all of this. If you are new, if you don't understand the chain of title, I'm going to break this down for you tonight, okay? So that's what it sounds like went up for auction, that second lien, right? Now, keep in mind, that's what I said, when you go to the auction, you've got to do your due diligence. It's not just wake up, go buy a property. You've got to look at the title, because if you buy a second lien, you guys, you don't have any ownership over that property. Well, I don't, in my opinion, I know people buy second liens at auctions. I have no idea what their strategy is. None. And if you go look at my post, a couple people kind of commented what the strategy could be if you buy the second lien. I still have no idea what the strategy would be to buy that second lien. And I'm going to explain why to you, right? I'm going to explain so it makes sense to everybody. But so far, everybody's with me. So let's talk about, really quickly, throw in your questions. I'll answer them as much as I can. It looks like a couple people have been to the auction, no, been, but never bid it. I always tell people, go to the auction. It's free. It's open to the public. I was talking to the lady today in Houston. She said it was a huge auction in Houston where they were auctioning off like HOA in one room. They were auction.com was in another room. Like, it was like multiple auctions going on at the same time in Houston. I was like, well, you got to have multiple people with you, if they've got like auctions going on everywhere, right? So she was like, I don't know about that. But she went and she was like, I didn't have any money. I was like, I told y'all, just go. Just don't bid, right? Just go and see the atmosphere. Okay. So I'm going to take it back for the people who might not know how auctions and liens and due diligence work. So bear with me if you already know. Feel free to jump in if you already know. Like if you know why people buy second liens, feel free to jump in and tell me because I'm still lost on that, but we'll talk about it. So let's start in the beginning for everybody who does not know. I was gonna have some cards and stuff, but of course, when you're looking for stuff and you ask your kid where something is, you can never find it, right? So bear with me. So when you buy a house, let me take it back to Genesis, right? We're going at the beginning. When you buy a house, that's when you're like, I'm ready to buy a house. You go get pre-approved with whoever, let's just say Bank of America. They give you a pre-approval letter. You go buy a house, right? You find your house, put an offer, close on it, right? That is what's considered your primary mortgage, right? That's that mortgage, that lien that is in first position, right? You borrow $300,000 from the bank, right? The bank gonna put a lien on your house until you pay them back, right? That is the lien, first position, your primary lien, okay? Everybody with me. That is the lien in first position. Liens come in different, let's say, each lien has different like powers. Like some liens are more powerful than others, right? I'm gonna say it like that. You got subordinate liens, but I don't want to do all that. So that lien that you take the picture with and say, I just bought this house, that is your primary mortgage. First lien, first position, has all the power, right? So we'll pretend like, okay, look, I'm gonna write this down. We're gonna say this is your primary. It's probably gonna be backwards because I'm doing this. But this is your primary. Just remember, it's green, the biggest lien, right? First position. This the king. Everybody with me. Now, there are other liens that have the same power as this one. Okay, y'all follow me? So we talking about liens that have same power. First position. That could be your primary mortgage. Okay. Also, HOA. HOA has the same power as this. Okay. Taxes. Your tax lien has the same power as this. All of those primary, HOA, taxes all have the same, they on the same level. They all kings, right? They all in front. They all have ownership, have all the power. Y'all with me? Now, there are liens that fall up under this, right? These are second liens. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Y'all probably can't see it after I write it down. Second liens. Second liens. So we got primary liens up here. This is the king up here. Then we got junior and second liens, okay? This would be like a HELOC. I wrote it on there, but y'all probably can't see it. HELOC, okay? Oh, thank you. I was like, okay. Second liens, HELOCs. This is, so keep in mind, we got our $300,000 house from Bank of America. We pay a mortgage on this each month. We've been in our house for a year or so, and we're like, I don't like how this bathroom looks. So say, okay, we buy this house, $300,000. We stay in it about a year. Now the house is worth $350,000. Okay, it's appreciated. It's worth $350,000. So now you have equity in your house. Equity is the difference of what your house is worth minus what you owe on it. Y'all follow me? That's what equity is, right? You owe $300,000. It's worth $350,000. You got $50,000 worth of equity in your house. Everybody with me? Okay. So you're like, I want to fix up my bathroom. So I want to borrow. You can borrow against that equity. You tell the bank, hey, I want $10,000 worth of my equity. They say, okay, we'll give you $10,000. And that's going to be a second lien on your house. Okay. You got your primary and then you got your second, right? These are two separate. Hey, Alex, these are two separate mortgage payments. Okay. This one's probably $300,000 right now. You're probably paying like $2,400 right now on $300,000. Then you got your $10,000. One thing you need to know about this, HELOCs, home equity line of credit, a lot of them are adjustable rate mortgages, right? So they fluctuate or go up for what's going on now based on interest rates. So a lot of people are probably going to be in trouble who refinanced or pulled money out back when interest rates were what, 2%, right? Pulled money out. And now interest rates are 8%. I heard somebody say their payment doubled, right? Because now your interest rate is 8. So what is happening is people are paying this one, right? This primary mortgage, and they might not have the money to pay this one. Okay. Everybody's still with me. So the bank can foreclose. Hold on. I don't want to. Okay. So HELOCs. This is second position, junior lien. There's other liens similar to this, like HELOCs. We have medical liens. We'll pretend like this is a medical lien. Mechanics liens, like if they did the work, they took out the equity, did the work on the bathroom, and did not pay the contractor. The contractor can put a lien on their house. Okay. So mechanics lien, judgment liens, child support liens, medical liens, credit cards, they can put liens on your house, right? To collect their money. Basically, a lien is just saying, hold up, you owe me. If you decide to sell this house, you need to pay me, right? Pay me, basically. Okay. So primary lien, secondary lien. The house in Arizona, I believe, I haven't looked at Maricopa County, their county records and deeds. The opening bid was $12,000. They bought the house in 2020 for $200,000. So red flag went off on me, and I was like, hold on, that's probably like a second, because that opening bid should have been higher if it was the main primary mortgage. I think they foreclosed on the HELOC and somebody bought it, right? They bid it up to $30,000. Okay. Again, I don't know the game plan why people buy second liens, because, let me tie it all together. This lien is sitting in front of it, right? So if you buy this $12,000 lien, you can't do anything with this property until this one is cleared. Does that make sense to everybody? Is everybody with me? Oh, the glare. Okay. Does that thumbs up? Let me know if that makes sense. I'm trying to. Okay. So when I posted, I think that post has like 10,000 views on it at this point. And a lot of people were kind of chiming in. And I think a guy chimed in and he was like, this is why they bought it. But I was like, a HELOC has never trumped a first mortgage. Okay. And when I conduct auctions, I don't get up there and announce, hey, you guys, I'm about to auction off the second lien. Don't buy this. Opening bid is whatever, right? You've got to do your own due diligence to figure out which lien is being auctioned off at the courthouse, that I'm auctioning off. Because if you buy this one, you don't have any ownership over this, right? Because it was $12,000. And people, I said this, I had a lady call me and she was like, she's in foreclosure on her HELOC, but she's like, my primary mortgage is current. And I was like, oh, when I hung up with her, I was like, oh, you don't want to buy that because you can't do anything with that property if it's got a first mortgage sitting in front of it. Keep in mind, primary mortgage can foreclose on you. Your HOA can foreclose on you. Okay. They can foreclose on you. And taxes. We all know tax sale. They can foreclose on you. Okay. So that's a brief lesson on the importance of doing your due diligence before you go to the auction. So even though that sounds like a great deal, a $300,000 house in Arizona, opening bid was $12,000. You got to do your research. And again, somebody bid on it. They bid it up to $30,000. No idea the strategy behind that, right? I have no idea. The only thing I can think of, and I could totally be wrong. I guess you could just hold on to it until they sell, right? And then they got to pay you when they sell. But I mean, what if they don't ever sell the house? Like, can you pay the primary mortgage to take position? But I mean, you you could, but keep in mind, you guys, like people still live in the house. Like I'm sure, like the lady who called me, she still live in the house. She's still paying her primary mortgage, right? So even if you bought her HELOC, what you gonna do? You gonna knock on the door and be like, "So I bought your HELOC. I need you to move." She gonna be like, "I'm current at Bank of America, right? I still got possession. I'm not gonna move. I have no plans on moving ever." She probably like ever. So I don't know. Now, keep in mind, if you bought, let's say, HELOC and there was nothing in front of it, the house is paid off, primary mortgage is paid off, there's no first liens up here, then you be good to go if this is all you have. But if you got a first mortgage sitting in front of you, you can't do anything with that house. I mean, I guess you could go talk to them, but I mean, and offer them some money. But if you current, like, where are you gonna go? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If you buy a lien, you only buy the lien, not the price. Right. It's just the lien. So that's what I'm saying. And people buy second liens. I just don't know what their strategy is in order to do anything with the property unless they're just waiting for them to sell it and they just have it sitting out there. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. But that was, look, that's a quick lesson in chain of command when it comes to title. So when you go to the auction, look at the title. Because if your friend calls you and it's like, it's a property going up for 300,000 and the opening bid is 12, let's go buy it. I need y'all to be like, look at that title first before you're out of $30,000. Right? So what happens to those liens if the house is sold to someone else or if someone buys the house at a tax sale? So most times, right? Let me back up. If you buy the lien in first position, and let's say it's a HELOC down here, mechanics lien, judgment, say it's somewhere down here. Usually when you buy this one at the auction, right? When I say sold, it clears the title. It will clear these mechanic liens and all that, right? So that's why you can buy the first lien and it have like a mechanics lien sitting down here. That don't matter because usually at auction, it's going to fall off. It's going to clear it, the title. Okay. So, but it depends. I don't want to take y'all too deep because all liens don't fall off. Most do. All do not. There's some that survive auction, right? That's why you just got to do your due diligence. You got to do your due diligence. And it does depend. A sheriff's sale, a tax lien, you're right. So, and then and that's what the masterclass on November is going to be about. The difference between tax lien sales and tax deed sales. There's a difference in those two, right? One, you're buying the lien, and the other, you're actually bidding on the deed, right? So, yeah, usually. So let me tell you, I'll tell you a story. Some of y'all probably heard this. I was at the auction, right? Auctioning off a property, and two guys walked up, right? Two guys. And they were like, we are from the electrical company. And they had a lien on the property that I was conducting the auction on, right? That was up for auction. They had a lien on it, right? So the property didn't sell. But at the same time, I'm like, what were y'all about to do if the property sold? Were y'all about to give your bill to the highest bidder, right? And no, that's not what would have happened. No, the highest bidder would not have been responsible for that mechanics lien, for their bill. What would have happened is if the property would have sold at auction, and let's say it sold for $1 over, there would have been no money. But say it sold for $30,000 over, the attorney would have gone down the list with that $30,000 and paid any liens that were on that property, right? With the excess money. And then whatever was left over after that, the homeowner probably would have got it. But that's how that mechanics lien would have got paid, with the excess from the auction, right? But the new owner would not have been responsible for that mechanics lien. That makes sense to everybody? Yeah? Yeah. Y'all still with me? So, I can talk. The point of this was that property that went up for auction this week, right? I don't know the game plan. I've heard of investors, some of my regulars said that one of them said that he had a property that he couldn't do anything with for a year because he bought the wrong lien. So I don't know where the year came in at, but he's got one he can't do anything with because he bought the second. So you got to do, I don't get up there and I don't announce. And I've said this before, let that be a trigger or a red flag. Let me read. My name is Gloria. I have a pro. Oh, Gloria, I'm sorry about you and your uterus. We'll pray for you for 24 hours. So, anyway, she come on here all the time. Anyway, what was I going to say? Gloria and her uterus just threw me all the way off. You guys, I lost my whole train of thought. I don't know what I was going to say. But anyway, be careful when you go to the auction. Make sure you buy. No, I remembered. It should trigger you if you find a good property, plenty of profit margin, right? Plenty that people would want to buy, and you're the only one at the auction, and you're the only one bidding, right? That should, y'all stop. I had to put her in timeout. It's got a little thing where you can put people in timeout. So pray for her and her uterus. Anyway, I lost my I lost my train of thought again. Y'all, what was I just saying about what was I just saying about the just be careful what lane you buy. Look, just be careful on whatever lane you buy. I was dead in the middle of thought and I lost it that quickly. I can't have people comment. Yeah, mechanics lane. No, this is what I was saying. If you go to the auction and it's a great property with a high profit margin, right? High profit margin, and nobody else is bidding on it, you guys, that's a red flag. Yes, the only one bidding. That's a red flag that something might be wrong, right? It might be the second lien up. Because usually if it's a great property, margins are right. It's gonna be plenty of people bidding, right? So if you see everybody standing to the side, side-eyeing you, you might want to peek at that title again. Okay. That's a red flag. And I've seen that happen. I've seen new bidders come to the auction and the seasoned bidders will be in the back and watch them bid on a second lien, right? So do your due diligence is my whole point. Do your due diligence. Any questions on that? I hope y'all understood. First, second, HOA can foreclose on you. I want you to understand that. HOA has the same power as your primary mortgage. HOA has it too. And tax lien. Of course, we know taxes, but a lot of people don't think that their HOA can foreclose on them, and they can, right? There is yes, due diligence. Yes, Coach J. An attorney called me, one of my close attorney friends who does foreclosures. She called me and she was like, there is an attorney here that is preying on people who are behind on their HOA. Like, and when I say preying on them, like filing that paperwork to foreclose on them, right? And I'm talking about how much literally, you guys, is HOA, even if you get behind, like it's a couple, maybe $1,000, right? So what they were doing is they were filing the foreclosure HOA by the time they went to court, say the HOA balance was like $5,000. By the time they went to court and court fees and lawyer fees, it was like $10,000, just like outrageous amounts. And they were foreclosing on people like for $10,000 HOA bill. So be mindful of that. Pay your HOA. It was ridiculous. I sent out an email to a lot of the housing people and I was like, look out for this. Some people are just, ruthless. All of our moral compasses are not set at the same place, right? Some people will do anything for a dollar. So that's just, yes, but HOA can absolutely foreclose on you. They have the same, they can be in first position. I have seen here in Memphis, HOA foreclosed on a condo, y'all. That she did not pay her condo fees. She was using it as an Airbnb, making plenty of money, didn't pay her HOA, and they foreclosed on her. That's a tough lesson. Tough lesson. Yeah, they do prey on people. You know, it's I I mean, they can. And I see the people here, like I feel like our HOA, there's an attorney that represents a lot of the HOAs here in Memphis. And they file them like once a month, like every Friday. And you can see like all the little subdivisions, like HOA Riverwood Homeowners Association filing foreclosure. Like it's all of them, like it's a whole list of them. So I guess they try to do it once a month at one time. There's this company here in Maryland that's auctioning off homes on a particular date, but it's accepting pre-auction offers. I thought it was all auction. So I don't know. They're accepting but maybe are they just like opening the bid early to get people in, and then they won't make a decision till like Friday. Like the bids open on Monday, pre-auction, and then it runs until Friday. You know what I mean? And so then that's when the decision is final. I don't think they will like accept an offer until the deadline. You know, I've seen that before. And then it's probably like, do you know if it's like a reserve? A lot of times they'll open up those reserve bids a little bit earlier because they got to meet. Y'all know the difference between an absolute auction and a reserve auction? I've described this before. Open the bid early. Yeah, just, to get more attention. So y'all know the absolute auction means there is whatever the highest bid is, they're going to sell the property, right? That is at the courthouse. With me, it's an absolute auction. If the opening bid is $500 and you bid $501, you get it, right? Absolute. Reserve bid means there is a reserve, there's a certain amount that has to be met in order for the property to sell, right? And the reserve is not the opening bid. The opening bid is like a starting point until they get to the reserve. And if they don't get to the reserve, then the property won't sell. And I know we're all thinking like, just let the opening bid be the reserve, right? But I guess common sense ain't that common. I don't know. I don't know. At the courthouse, the opening bid is what it is, right? So that's just a quick lesson. When you see absolute auctions and reserve, just know the reserve's got to be met before the property sells. Yeah, absolute versus reserve. You'll see that on 10x.com. If y'all have ever been on that site, that's like a commercial multifamily site, 10x.com. A couple of sites, it'll say absolute and it'll say reserve. And so that's how you know reserve has to be met in order for the property to sell. And I think that's what it is for yours with the auction. They're just trying to get people in here to get the bids going, giving people more time to bid, and then they'll close it at the end, I even see the online auctions where they make you pay an initial fee to even be able to bid. I've seen that too, which is crazy. Is that on 10X too? It's on one of those commercial sites. It might be CREXI.com. A couple of them, though, do make you pay like a registration fee to even bid. Do you get that back if you don't win? I don't know, you guys. Like, I wonder that. Do you get it back if you don't win? Or is it like a non-refundable registration? Knowing auctions, you probably don't even get that money back. Let's be honest. Knowing how things work, it's probably non-refundable. You just got to pay to even bid. Probably. Absolutely right. Yes, Alex, got it. And yes. So, look, I'm teaching y'all everything today. Absolute versus reserve, first position versus second position. You only buy first position unless you got a game plan. Or unless there's nothing in first position, right? Like I've seen Chase credit card go up for auction, right? They didn't pay their credit card. Chase put a lien on their property and foreclosed on that, right? And I had to auction that off, right? You don't want to buy that. Like, you get no ownership over the property buying a credit card lien, for the record. So be very mindful before you go to the auction to look at the title. Look at the title before you go, and drive by the property. Those are my two must do before you go to the auction. Drive by and look at the title. Drive by because it might not be there anymore. And you don't want to bid on a pile of dirt. Daniel, Hubs requires a bid for offers. Yes, you get it back if you don't. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Everybody read Daniel's comment. So no fake spam offers, and you get it back if you don't win. So that's good to know in case you decide to bid, because I know you're always wondering that, right? Like, am I going to get a refund on this money? You all also know at the courthouse, that reminds me, you see how one thing just takes me to other thing and I just keep going. There's no period when I talk, right? It's just like a comma and I just keep going, right? So you got to jump in. Anyway, what is the person putting a credit card lien on the property? They just want, yeah, that's what a lien is. You know what I mean? It's just when you owe somebody and they want to collect, right? That's in general what a lien is. It's like a hold on the property saying, hold on, if you want to sell this, you need to pay me first, right? That's what a lien is. They lien in on your property until you pay them, right? So just be mindful of the lien that you buy. And that's true. You can buy, anybody, not anybody, but if you don't pay them, they can get an attorney and foreclose on your property. And it was Chase credit card. Ain't nobody buying that lien. But if you don't know and you're like, oh, it's a $300,000 house and the opening bid is $500, right? But you're not knowing it's a Chase credit card lien. You just about to give away your $500, right? So be mindful, which took me to, because I just go from one thing to the next, refunds. When you come to the auction, if you see me at the courthouse, I do not give out refunds at the courthouse, right? Everybody knows that. Like, I don't have change for $100,000 cashier's check. I don't have that, right? So refunds come in the mail, okay? What properties can be inspected before auction? REOs, REOs, my dog Rex. REOs. Don't make me go back. Let me finish this and then I'll go back to that. REOs. Refunds and deeds come in the mail, okay? So when you come to the auction, you've got to have certified funds in the full amount. When you come see me, if you're bidding online, things are different. But when you come see me at the courthouse, you got, like, I've done videos before. You've got to have the full amount, right? So that means you got to set your budget before you get there. Follow me on that, right? You've got to have already estimated your repairs, got your profit margin in there, and then determined how much you're willing to bid. And then you got to bring how much you're willing to bid in case it gets bid up, right? So my point is, if your max budget on a property is $100,000 and you just happen to get there and nobody else is bidding and you win it for, let's say, $60,000, that's a $40,000 difference, right? I don't have $40,000 to give you. You got to wait on that in the mail, okay? So the refunds and deeds come in the mail. That's why people buy cashier's checks in increments, right? So they don't have to wait on such a big refund to come in the mail. And if you are bidding on multiple properties, right? You buy increments. These are some old little examples. But does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to, hold on, you guys. Me and my commenters, you know what I mean? Everybody be in timeout. Everybody going to timeout today. So y'all follow me. Refunds, deeds come in the mail. Deeds come in the mail 9 times out of 10. You have to file that deed yourself. Okay. That means you got to go to the county records and deeds and file that deed yourself. Okay. Everybody with me on that. You're not getting refunds. You're not getting deeds, and you're not getting keys. You already knew that. You was not getting keys in the first place. Like the one I mentioned, they're actually letting people see the homes. In the example of an auction home, like the okay, so maybe it's maybe, I think different platforms can do different things, right? Like if they know that the house is vacant, then I don't see why not, right? I don't see why not. But REOs, for sure, real estate owned by the bank, comes to the auction. I can't sell it. It reverts back to the bank. Now it's an REO, right? Those for sure you can look on the inside of, right? You can get a home inspection. You can use traditional financing, conventional loans, maybe FHA 203K loans. If it's in great condition, you might can use just a regular FHA loan. But REOs, you can see the inside of those properties, home inspection, everything, right? Ever file for while the title, hold on. While the title company ever file for you. Will the title, I see. Maybe if you buy like auction.com, I don't know, but auction.com said they send you their deed too. Now, if you buy an REO property, right? REO bank owned, that's like the traditional home buying process, right? Like you literally home inspection, you can get an appraisal, and you go through a closing company, right? So that closing company is going to do that like in a typical traditional transaction. Unlike at the auction, like I know for me at the courthouse, right? They're going to send that deed in the mail to you 9 times out of 10, and then you file it at the courthouse. You know what I mean? So, but REO, I think the title company and all that, they handle that like typical, right? And they let you know, like I think even on auction.com, they tell you, they give you if they're going to file or be on the lookout, wait for the deed to come in the mail before you approach properties. They're very mindful of that. So that's another thing, you guys. That's why you have to do your due diligence and drive by. That property could be gone, condemned when you go bid on it, and people could live in that property, right? Because you can't see the inside of it. People are still living there. They're just getting foreclosed on. So, and you are responsible if you buy that property with people living in it, you are responsible for evicting those people. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's why you need to drive by the property so you don't get any surprises. You can see how many people live there, if it's a whole family of people, if it's going to be a problem, if they got 15 cars in the driveway and like 12 dogs. You need to know what you're about to get into, right? So it's a guy in my mentorship right now. He just bought a property at auction in New York, and it's people living in there. So he's sent a letter trying to lead with love, because that's the first thing, because you don't want them to wreck your whole property, right? Like you trying to work with them on when they can be out, because you did buy the lien. Hold on, wrong one. In first position. If you buy this at auction, you do have ownership. Now you can go to that house and tell them to leave. You know what I mean? Say it nicely. Lead with love. But when you buy this, then that does give you ownership, right? Not when you buy this. You can't knock on anybody's door with this. You can knock on somebody's door with this. Okay? Zone, when do they give the open bid? There are a few houses listed on the zone. Look at you, Anna, you trying to make me just be like the expert over all auctions. When do they give the estimate? So here with the courthouse, right? It just depends. If it's been in foreclosure for a long time and the attorneys know the numbers, I can get an opening bid, let's say a week before, right? But there has been auctions where I literally didn't get the opening bid until that morning. Like I'm walking up to the courthouse and standing there, and the guys are like, "What's the opening bid?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm waiting on them to tell me." Right? So sometimes it comes early. I'm sorry, Anna. Now I understood what you were saying. Yeah. And sometimes it'll come literally minutes before the auction, right? So I would say check at least 24 hours. Just check. You never know. when they're, it varies, honestly. It is showing 0. Well, I think you gotta wait. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll just let you bid what you want to bid. But I would say wait. You know what I mean? Until it's closer. How far out is the auction? Can a bank finance REO? Yes, yes, yes. That's what I was saying. Yes. Conventional. You can go traditional financing. That's why there's a lot more competition for REO properties, because that opens up the buyer pool, right? You can go conventional. You can go 203 FHA 203K. You can use traditional financing for an REO property. And what I tell y'all all the time, negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. It's the bank. You can negotiate with them, right? They can change the price. You can get somebody that was on here, I don't know if they're on here, talking about they got an REO property and they asked for appliances and everything. Negotiate with the bank, okay? You can't negotiate with me, okay? I'm at the auction. It is what it is. But REO, you can negotiate with the bank, okay? I've seen, yeah, November 7th. Oh yeah, so you got a while. I would check back the 1st of November, right? And then see if the opening bid, if it's there, or if it goes. You know what I mean? Once they start posting those properties up on auction.com, y'all know people are all over them. You know what I mean? Trying to get them to sell before it goes to auction. So, yeah, wait until like the 1st of November if it goes, you know. And then, like y'all know, we'll probably hit a moratorium the mid-December, where they probably won't foreclose. It might just be for FHA, but usually we have like a moratorium mid-December to the beginning of January, where they won't foreclose on people. Not that they're really foreclosing right now. Not that I'm being insensitive either, right? I'm not doing that either. But all I'm saying, it's a lot of people who have not paid their mortgage. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, And how do we fix that? I'm not sure, you guys. I'm not sure. I am not sure if, I don't know, you guys. I have no idea. I think the foreclosure wave is coming. I'm sure they will make some kind of assistance program. So, when I post those numbers, right? You guys, when I put the foreclosure numbers up, like foreclosure, people behind on their mortgage, like 4.5 million, people behind on their rent, 5 million. I get that from HUD, right? And HUD does a survey of people and who said they're behind on their mortgage or their rent. I bet you if they were to actually ask the mortgage servicers how many people are in default, I think the number would be ridiculous, right? Honestly. And I'm trying to see who they survey, because they ain't never asked me, right? They never asked me about my mortgage. So all I'm saying is, I believe these mortgage servicers are looking at their books like, we in trouble, right? It's a problem. So I don't know, you guys. We'll see what happens. We're going to be prepared if it happens, though, right? Like, that's the plan. That's the game plan. I'm just watching the numbers. We all see, no matter where you are, we all see price reductions across the board, right? Every builder I have seen is reducing prices. I saw someone, which one builder was offering like 5.9% for the life of the loan. They're buying down the rates for people. When it started getting tight, you start seeing all kinds of incentives come out. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Don't fall for the okie doke unless unless it benefits you. That's all I can say. Don't fall for it unless it benefits you. Also, when things get really tight, again, they start offering all these programs. I want to say like subprime. Y'all know what that, y'all, I think, y'all are familiar. You might not be familiar with the term subprime. Some of y'all are. They're the not so great loans, right? That's when they start coming out with all these incentives for, if you've got a low credit score, right? You can buy a house. We have more flexible underwriting. We do higher DTI, right? We'll let people give you gift funds, right? I had somebody ask me, like, how do I feel about, y'all probably feel some type of way about this. How do I feel about these 100% financing? Like Zillow's coming out with their 1% down loans. How do I feel about that? It's a builder married offering 4.8 fixed rate and 5 on a conventional. You know what I mean? You know, if you're offering to buy down that rate, you know, I feel like okay, but when you start trying to manipulate like low credit score or get an adjustable rate mortgage or stuff that does not benefit you but benefits the bill, you know, they don't care. Let's be honest. Builders, everybody, they're trying to get off this land, right? They owe a loan too, right? They got to sell these properties. And a lot of them have overbuilt. So, back to my point. How do I feel about 1% down these loans? I will say this. I don't think anybody should buy a house with no money, right? I don't think that's okay. Keep in mind, I'm saying this, like I get the fact that a lot of people are disenfranchised, did not have the opportunity to buy houses. They need assistance. I'm not saying anything about that. Like I get, y'all, I'm black, right? I get like there were discriminatory laws back in the day, right? I get all that. I get some people need down payment assistance, right? I get all of that. I'm not saying anything about that. What I'm saying is I don't believe people should be able to buy houses with no money, right? With no skin in the game, right? Like 1% down, like you're not paying any money down, right? They're waiving your appraisals. You don't have to bring any money to closing. You know, like all of these, then they're allowing gift funds. Like you don't have any skin. That's not responsible. That's not the way you should buy a house, right? That's not even, and I see it, right? I see people like 500 credit score, letting you have gift funds, you get down payment assistance, they're going to waive your appraisal. You know, you don't have, we got to wait 2 weeks so you can pay for the home inspection. You're borrowing the earnest money. Y'all, that is not how you go into a home ownership situation. You didn't put any money down. So that means you don't have any equity basically in your house, right? You're going to be the first to default. Like that's not how you approach a home buying situation. And I'm going to give you an example. There's a lady called me, right, in foreclosure. They're about to lose their house. And she had a primary lien, right? She got down payment assistance. Down payment assistance put a lien on her house, right? Because here, some down payment assistance, you got to stay in that house 5 or 10 years in order for the lien to fall off, right? If they give you assistance for your down payment. She went into foreclosure before her time was up, right? So she's in foreclosure, okay? So she owes the first, she owed the second. So I was telling her, I was like, you know, you got a lien on your house for, I think down payment assistance gave her $12,000, right? So of course, when you're trying to sell your house, you're calculating how much money you're going to walk away with. So she had one number in her head, and I said, look, you got $12,000 you got to pay back to down payment assistance. And she said, my whole point is this. She was like, I didn't know. They didn't tell us we were going to have to pay it back because I told them if we didn't get down payment assistance, we couldn't even afford this house. And I was like, and here we are. Yet here we are, right? Like that is not, and again, I understand why people need down payment assistance, right? I understand that. But I don't think you just need to open the road wide up and pay for everything, right? That's not helping them, right? That's not helping. You're putting people in a bad situation. So here comes Zillow, 1% financing. All you got to put down is 1%, right? And that's what happens when stuff start getting tight. They start throwing out all these bogus incentives to get people to buy, right? Knowing you're going to have them coming to see me in the next couple of years, right? Like that's just, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I agree some people need help with down payment assistance, but baby, you got to have some skin in the game to buy a house, right? It's not like renting, right? You need to have some money in the bank. You don't ever need to cash out your whole savings account to buy a house. That doesn't make sense. And a lot of these lenders will let you cash out your whole savings, and then tell you to go borrow some money from your family member for gift funds for the money that you can't come up with. That's not right, you guys. Like that's not right, honestly. That's not the mindset to approach when you buy a house, right? People gotta know how down payment assistance works. Most of it you have, right. And if you don't know that you gotta pay back some, I think they let you do it, and some you gotta either stay in that house, right? Or you gotta pay it back if you move. And they had to pay it back. But when she said, she was like, we told them we couldn't get this house if we didn't get down payment assistance. I'm like, y'all couldn't afford it. But you know, some of these real estate professionals, they don't care. Just close the deal. You could have no money. You could be overdraft. As long as by the time they do their final underwriting clear, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Mortgage encourage people to live beyond their means. This is why I yeah, and that's why I always tell people, I don't care what that pre-approval letter says, right? You know how much you can afford. I don't care if that pre-approval says $300,000. You know whether or not you can pay that $2,400 monthly payment, right? Because they're going to approve you. Their numbers are based on something totally different, but you know you can't afford $2,400 a month, right? With all the other expenses that you have. So I don't care what a pre-approval says, you stay in your budget, right? And make sure you can afford that mortgage payment. And like I said, 60 pay it, because at the end of the day, your realtor is not going to help you pay it. Once that ink is dry and you get those keys, your mortgage person, your real estate person, your home inspector person, your closing attorney is not going to help you pay that mortgage, right? It's just going to be you and your bank account and whoever they sell your mortgage to, right? And God. That's it. You and God going to be paying that mortgage. So, and if that meant you got to back out of a deal a week before, that means you got to back out that deal a week before. And I wouldn't care who got mad about it, especially with these interest rates, right? That's what I said the other day. Interest rates went up last week, right? So if you're not locked in on a rate right now, right? And I'm talking about people who are like house hunting right now. If you just have a pre-approval, look, this is everything. This is the second lien. This is everything. This is everything. Right now, it's a pre-approval letter. A pre-approval letter does not mean you are locked in on a rate, okay? You are not locked in until you have a contract that's agreed on and your mortgage lender says, I've locked you in, right? While you're house hunting, your rate's still doing whatever the market is doing. So rates went up last week. So if you're still in the market for a house, you might want to check back in and say, yo, how much my payment gonna be now? What are we looking like? That's all I'm saying. You're not locked in until you locked in. So just know that. And I know a lot of people don't know that, right? You can extend a rate lock, right? You can extend one, but they're going to charge you every day. Every day, they're going to charge you to extend it. So just know that too. Make sure you have money saved, because that's the thing. Like I shared with y'all that, and we're all getting emails from banks and mortgage lenders about their new latest, greatest program that they just came out with. Y'all, why y'all don't have these programs back when interest rates were 2%? Of course not. Now that things are slow and mortgage applications are down, let's get creative, right? What does that mean? We're going to start letting anybody and everybody buy a house, right? Because we got to keep the numbers going. whatever. Don't fall for that trap, you guys. People not earning to not they cannot afford to home unless they're able to walk to work. All I'm saying is stay in your budget. Like I've even told married couples, right? If you can afford to buy that house in one person's name, do that, right? But I know most people want to have those combined incomes so you get a bigger house. My point is, I'll tell people, I'm like, look, if one person can afford this house, right, that can keep this other person's credit open so y'all can buy an investment property or y'all can do whatever this person's credit is open. And on the flip side, if you go into foreclosure on this one, at least this other person's credit is still open and good in case you got to go get you a rental property or something, right? But, most people want to use that combined to buy something bigger. But I'm just saying that's a strategy you could use, is what I'm saying. Yes, Clark, great advice. Great advice. And so coming into the winter is all I'm thinking about. The same house who said that they couldn't afford that house if they had not got down payment assistance. Same house, same family. Pipe burst in the winter. I've told y'all this before. Pipe burst in the winter, right? I didn't meet them until literally May or June. No lie. Pipe burst in January. Frozen winter, frozen pipe burst. Leak was so bad, the city came and turned their water off. Okay. I didn't see them till May or June. Their water had been off from January to June because they could not afford to get it fixed, right? And then they're in foreclosure. Like they couldn't afford to pay their mortgage. They couldn't afford to get the leak fixed, right? So they didn't have water for when I met them, they didn't have water on. They were using gallon jugs to flush the toilet and stuff, you guys. So anything can happen. And like I said before, like these storms been storming across the country, right? Floods, storms, everything. All it takes is for a tree to fall the wrong way, right? All it takes is for a pipe to burst, right? And that can ruin somebody. That's why what's the saying? Don't be house rich and cash poor, right? That is the saying, and that is the truth. Y'all, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. I don't care if you're right there at the finish line. You just be like, I can't do it. Everybody can be mad at you, but you're going to be the one with the mortgage paying it, right? They're not going to help you pay your mortgage. So you do what you got to do. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it, right? And don't try to struggle and afford it, right? You need to be able to afford it right then. Not, well, if I pick up a couple of shifts at work, or if I do this, or if we cut back right here, then I can afford it. Y'all, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it, right? And that's between you and your budget. Who cares, right? And your first house isn't your last house. That's what I was telling like agents. That's what you should tell people. Don't tell people buy now, refinance later. Stop saying that. Like pull from somewhere else in your real estate knowledge bank, right? Stop saying that. Say, hey, like maybe let's look at a cheaper house, right? If you can't afford this payment and interest rates are 8%, let's look at something cheaper, right? And this doesn't have to be your final house. You just stay here for a little while and then you can sell it and buy something else that you want. Let's get that payment where you want it to be today. Let's not bank on interest rates going down, right? That's not even a good, come up with something else, right? And now we all see National Association of Realtors is petitioning, basically sending letters to the Fed telling them to stop raising rates, right? But you're hollering to all the consumers, buy now, refinance later. But the Feds are like, stop it, we're dying over here, right? Like, that's not fair. Don't do that. Don't do that to people, right? Interest rates are high. Don't tell people buy now, refinance later. That's some sugar honey iced tea. That's what that is. So I would say remind people why you buy houses in the first place, right? It's to build wealth, right? This is your stepping stone. I always tell people, like, your first house, it's your stepping stone to your next house or an investment property. Or when you sell it, like you, and it appreciates over time, you sell it and then you have, that money to do what you want to do with it. And you have a fixed rate and you can afford it and you can make this house your own house. Don't say buy now, refinance later. Don't say that. It's a whole bunch of people struggling right now thinking they could refinance at the end of the year, and baby, interest rates are higher than they were at the beginning of the year. So, crazy. Oh, y'all are talking. Sometimes the program should if they give them money or not, and they also run out of money sometimes. Yeah, they do. We have City of Memphis down payment and Shelby County down payment, and they run out. Yeah, they run out. They run out. Let me say that. But again, I don't think anybody should move into a house with no money, right? Nobody needs to be gifting you all the money to move in your house. It's just my opinion. It's how I feel about it. But these lenders will let you ask your mama, your daddy, your cousin too, to give you some gift funds, right? But it is what it is. You guys, it's been an hour. I'm like the Energizer Bunny over here. Yeah, I just keep talking and talking, don't I? So, yeah, that's so true. Refi later, not plan A. Don't even fall for that because nobody knows when interest rates are going down. Nobody knows when interest rates are going down. I don't care what MSNBC, CNN, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, nobody knows when they're going down. Now, we hope eventually they go down, but they're talking about them staying higher for longer, right? We don't know when they're going down. Don't base your life, your home buying purchase, nothing on interest rates going down. Don't do it. You're going to be in trouble. You're going to come see me at the auction like a bunch of these people are about to, right? Struggling. And these HELOCs, you guys, I think that's going to be another problem too, right? People who took out good old HELOC, right? People who refinanced back when interest rates were low and pull money. They give HELOCs like credit cards, like little cards with your home equity on it. You better know how to spend safely, right? Or you just going to be swiping your equity out your house. So I know people who got HELOCs but just did not use them, right? You're just holding on to them until an opportunity presents itself. But a lot of people have taken the money out of it. And again, that payment is based on the interest rates. So a lot of people, like we might see a lot of these HELOCs in foreclosure, right? That's why I was trying to figure out what's the play on second liens. Like, I'm like, tell me. The guys in my comments, he had to backtrack. He was like, this is why people buy second liens. And I was still just not getting it, right? I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. When has this ever trumped this? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then finally he came back and was like, I looked it up. You don't get any ownership when you do this. I'm like, but my point is, I just want to know, like, if people do buy these, I just want to know what the game plan is. Just tell me, right? Like, if that's the case, we can all start buying HELOCs. I mean, if there's some kind of benefit to it, I just didn't see any benefit to it, right? If y'all ever find out, let me know. I'm going to try to look and see. Like, ask ChatGPT and see if ChatGPT know why people buy second liens. I don't know. I'm not sure, right? About home buying. Live now, pay later. But that's what a lot of people are doing, right? You see, I can just come up with another topic that quickly. If you just say like a phrase, and I'm like, ding, I got another thing we can talk about. But that's what a lot of people are doing. That's what they were saying. Like, with credit cards, like, people are putting like basic necessities on credit cards, or using that buy now, pay later option for like basic needs, like groceries and stuff. What is that, like, where you can split up Klarna or shop. You know what I'm saying? When you can pay a bill over the time, people are doing that with basic necessities, and they've never seen that before. Like credit card debt is like at an all-time high. And you guys, I got my email from Sally Mae telling me to get ready about my student loans. I disregarded that email, right? Because I've told y'all plenty of times, Sally can come get this any day she want to come get this, right? I'll send it back to her if she give me an address of where she want me to send this to, right? For the record, I double majored in criminal justice and sociology because I wanted to be a judge when I was in college. But then I found real estate, and that was the end of the story. So Sally can come, baby. She can come get this any day. I'll mail it to her first class. Sally, what is your address? I will put this in the mail. Baby, I will put this on eBay. Who need a criminal justice degree? I'm just kidding. Before they shut my whole channel down, right? They'll shut me down. Talking about Sally Mae and me trying to sell my degree on YouTube Live. I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm just kidding. Before like y'all look back, try to rewatch this and it's like banned. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I would have been a good judge. I probably would have talked you to death. They probably been like, I do not want to go see Judge Pickens because she talk you too long. But she's fair. She is fair, right? That's what they would have said. She just talked too long, right? Everybody get a timer when you come in my courtroom. And then I'd probably be like, no, start from the beginning. Tell me what happened at the beginning. How was she looking when you said that? Okay. No. So anyway, I did want to be a judge, but I didn't want to have to be elected and all that kind of stuff, right? And then I found real estate, and that was it. And then I've been in love ever since with real estate, and I don't have a plan B. I have no need to, there's no other occupation that I want to have. It's real estate. This is it. This is it, kids. You paid your last payment. Congratulations. I'm always, when people tell me they paid off their student loans, I'm like, congratulations. Like, that's like, I haven't done like nonprofit. They're like, you got to say you work for nonprofit or something. I haven't worked for nonprofit. I haven't done that. Like, I don't have any. I just want them to just erase them. That's it. Without me having to prove anything. Just because. But I guess that's not how it works, right? That's just not how it works. So, looks like Sally's just going to have to come to my funeral and collect her money, I guess. There it is. No, me too. We all in the student loan struggle. So could you imagine student loans plus credit card debt plus being behind on mortgage plus Airbnb plus commercial loans plus it's a lot of pluses. That's all I got to say that's going on in our real estate market right now. That's all I got to say. But every time you look at the news, they're like, unemployment is down, right? Unemployment is down. Everybody's got money and everybody's got jobs and everybody's happy. All those people down there are happy. That's how I feel like they look at us. Everybody down there is happy. Don't you see them? They got jobs and they're happy and they should have some stimulus money left over. And, it is what it is, you guys. Save yourself. I try to get mine forgiven through because I used to be a teacher C, but since I didn't pay the 120 consecutive, they did not. Oh, you got to pay 120 consecutive. Sally, I will first class this degree back to Sally any day she wants to. Any day. First class. 120. Right. I need to go in timeout. Right. You're right, you guys. I do community service. It's just not considered. This is community service right here, I feel like. But I guess me and Sally don't feel the same way, But you guys, okay, 75 minutes. You guys, it seems like we're kind of doing this like every Sunday. I've got mentorship. I had a mentorship at 7, hopped on here at 8. Her girl is rolling. We're just out here rolling. You guys, if you want to learn about title, how to buy at the auction, all the things, the course is down below. It's on sale. Go check it out. And the mentorship is closing soon for sure. The next couple of days, the mentorship. I just teach you I teach you all about the foreclosure process, how to assist people, offer your assistance if they want to keep their house. And if they want to sell it, you can help them sell it, or you can keep it and grow your own portfolio. It is not a wholesaling course. I am not teaching you how to wholesale. Okay. That's not what I'm doing. So, but it's a way for you to grow your portfolio, another channel of, getting properties, especially if the auction is just out of reach for you, right? All the links are below. I'm on Instagram, your agent Ashley. You guys, I'm on Instagram. Is it once a week until November? You talk about them 120 payments. I'm not even in that conversation. I'm not even in any payment, student loan, Sally Mae conversations, right? I ain't in it. It doesn't apply to me. So, anyway, Instagram, your agent Ashley. Go follow. I'm on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You got to say like, comment, and subscribe. It is 9:15. My kids got to go to school in the morning, right? So, yes, mentorship in the link below. I meet once a week. You get a free website, like to capture leads. It's, I try to give you everything. I know these coaches are out here busting y'all's heads, right? For the bare minimum. Literally, I know that. Everybody in my mentorship is like, Ashley, they don't do this. I'm like, I know, but I just want y'all to be successful, right? So I give you everything. I give you literally everything. I meet with you. I'm on here on Zoom almost every night of the week. And they just come in and talk to me, and we try to figure out a plan for where they live. Houston and Chicago, Atlanta, wherever you live, we map out a plan for where you live. Detroit. They get brochures. I ordered brochures. Let me show you the brochures they got. Here they are. Like all the men, if you're in the mentorship, I order brochures. It's like my little treat to you, right? You get a brochure, you get your websites. I know these people are busting y'all's head like 10 grand, and you're like a number in a pack. But anyway, if you're interested in that, link is below. Auction Accelerator down below. Or y'all still talking about student loans? I ain't talking about student loans. I see you, Salvatore. House crash coming. I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's conducive. When these properties prices start dropping, which they're already doing, they're already reducing prices. Some cities more than others. We all see, if you're in real estate, you get all the alerts, price reduced. It's happening. And that eats up people equity, baby. That eats up your equity. When everybody around you starts dropping the price, there goes your equity too. Okay? Keep that in mind. That's a quick way to get some people up underwater, right? All I'm saying, it's conducive for some things to happen in the real estate market. I'm going to say that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Only correction. Are we not allowed to say crash? Like there's so many words you can't say. You can't say recession. It's a downturn in the housing market. Don't say recession. You can't say crash. You're right. Or it's a market reset or market correction. Jerome said he finna reset the market. That's what Jerome said. That's what he said. That's what his intention is. Now, regardless to if you have a job or money or food, he said people are going to feel some pain. That's what he said. Now, regardless of CNN or NBC reported that Jerome out of his mouth said people are going to feel some pain. So, yes, in my hometown, a lot of people sleeping in cars. It's a lot of homelessness. A lot of people. Like where you live, Salvatore, San Diego. They said San Diego's homeless problem is like ridiculous. Like it's a lot of homeless people. That's so sad, right? You kind of want to donate, but then it's a lot of scammers too. That's scamming, right? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, 80 minutes and counting. This is not a telethon. That's not what this is. This is what it always turns into anytime I get on here. Oh, in Philadelphia. You on the Northeast coast. See, it's where Salvador is. It's probably almost tomorrow. Thank you, Salvatore, for being on here. But anyway, okay, you guys, I'm getting off. Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. Go follow. I recorded a lot of good content today that I'll post. YouTube, I'll be on here. Daily videos here on YouTube. I try to answer your questions. Everything auctions, foreclosures, how I feel about the market and everything. So you guys have a good week. I will be on here. It's the last full week of October. Go check out the moon if you can see it. My kid wants to go out. You know, we always like make a wish on the moon when it's like big and bright like this. So we got to go outside real quick and make a wish on the moon. So check out the moon. And okay, you guys, I will see you probably next Sunday. Next Sunday. Here we go. You know how we do. On 3, everybody hang up. You ready? 1, hold on. I have a question. What do you think about the Illinois tax? Isaiah, where have you been? Isaiah, real quick, y'all, before I hang up, let me tell Isaiah, November's masterclass will be on tax liens and tax deeds. Okay, it's a free masterclass. It'll probably be like November 15th, November 16th. Follow me and I will post about tax lien. I'll teach you everything about tax lien and tax deeds. Okay, Isaiah, come back next Sunday and ask that question. Okay, or inbox me. Okay, I'm hanging up, you guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3.